Hi everyone, this is David Ward. Just letting you know I won't be popping in the chat very much this time, as I pointed out in a notification on Twitter, on TradingView, and on Discord, to help keep the video short, but also to help me get back to work. So let's go ahead and get started with this analysis. Of course, this is my Bitcoin distribution potential accumulation chart. But let's go ahead and get to the short-term group. And by the way, you can rewind this if you're getting in late, just letting you know. All right, we have a new 8-hour candle. Our green RSI currently looks like it's wanting to come down a bit in the 8-hour, as you can see here. Looks like it's wanting to come down a bit, but will we get a whole lot of expansion yet? Let's look and see if the B bands are very tight, mediocre, or what. 6% spread between the white lower and white upper B band. We're currently right at the B band basis, just a smidget below it. So we have potential to come down to the white lower B band at 38,169 according to the 8-hour. We could potentially do that this candle. That's possible. Let's look at lower time frames to see how possible. The 6-hour we get in 2 hours. The white lower B band in that is 38,122, pretty close to the 38,171 in the 8-hour. The blue LSMA acts like it wants to go below level 50 in the 4-hour. Red RSI is already making contact with the green while the green's going down, indicating downward pressure. The blue LSMA gets below level 50, we could get a little bit of expansion down, potentially towards this aqua diagonal trend line just above 36,000. The 3-hour also acts like the next candle, approximately 2 hours. Same as the 6-hour in approximately 2 hours, where we might begin to see more expansion down, maybe towards this aqua diagonal trend line. I don't know why the 3 hours a little off from all the other time frames, but that diagonal trend line is really not quite at the same place as it is in the other time frames. It's always a little lower for some reason. Of course, you also see in the 30-minute we have downward pressure triggered. Say again, downward pressure triggered how? By the red RSI closing below level 50. The red RSI closing below level 50. Let me make sure everybody can see the stream. Can you hear and see me? Because I noticed no one there in the chat there for a minute, so I want to make sure that people are here. Just going to make sure people are here, that I'm not streaming for nothing. Okay. Don't want to stream for nothing. All right. The B bands are too tight to mention the current price action or current price of each B band in this 90-minute and 2-hour. Now, it's much easier to get expansion down. Excuse me, that was the 90-minute, but the 2-hour, it's much easier to get expansion down than expansion up. When I say expansion, I'm referring to the B bands for those who may be new, the Bollinger Bands. Here, they're very tight at the moment, but the next 2-hour candle that begins in 1 hour 54 minutes, so we just begun this 2-hour candle. The blue LSMA is super low, so with the red RSI and below level 50 and the blue LSMA this far below level 50, it is much easier to get expansion down than it is expansion up. And remember, during a period of downward pressure, sideways at best, downward at worst if you're in a long position. If you're in a short position, of course, then sideways at worst, downward at best. Let's look at the 12-hour. Red RSI acts like it wants to go below level 50 along with the blue LSMA. The green RSI is all. It's looking like we could at least potentially go down towards this aqua diagonal trend line. All it takes is this current green RSI coming down, but the red RSI and blue LSMA in that 2-day time frame, right now it's easier to get expansion up than expansion down in the 2-day, but not much expansion up if we did get expansion up, because look how low the blue LSMA in this 5-day time frame. Look how low that is. As far as going above the B-band basis at 43,000 and remaining above that B-band basis at 43,000 for a sustained period of time, it's going to be hard to do that. It's going to be very, very hard to do that. Sound is bad, really bad. Really? Anyone else getting a choppy stream? Really? Man, I started a video trying to be quick and we're having quality issues. Stop. Just a moment. Sound is choppy. Sound is loud and clear. Sound is good for me. Sound is good for me. So those of you having problems with sound, then it must be your internet, your device, something on your end, because nothing has changed here. You might want to refresh. Just letting you know, you may want to refresh. Yeah, with the blue LSMA this low in the 5-day, the weekly, the 4-day has 2 days, 8 hours remaining. The red RSI and blue LSMA making contact with the green while the green's going down, indicating downward pressure. They're both below level 50. We are at risk of expansion down. I know we have a lot of contraction at the moment, but we are at risk of expansion down. We do not have another 4-day candle beginning until another 2 days, 8 hours from now. So it'd be a while, I would think. If this green RSI is to turn up the next candle and we begin going up potentially the next candle, it'd be a while yet for that. Right now we have to draw the conclusion that for now we're having downward pressure based on what we're seeing in potential is higher for downward pressure based on what we're seeing in the 12-hour and the 24-hour, because in the 24-hour here, if this green RSI continues going down the next 24-hour candle, we're looking at the white, or somewhere between the white and aqua lower B bands, the next 24-hour candle. Depends on how far this green RSI comes down here below the white lower, below level 30, which is synonymous with the white lower, or down here to the white aqua, which is in between level 30 and level 10, that's level 20, white aqua, which is to imply halfway between the white lower and aqua lower B bands. And by the way, their price is $37,500 for the white lower and $36,150 for the aqua lower currently. But the next candles, when they begin approximately 7 hours, 50 minutes from now, approximately 8 hours from now, they will be a little bit lower price than what we see currently. So let's say about $37,300 to $36,000 even for the white lower and aqua lower in the 24-hour time frame. So 37.3, 36, 37.3, 36. Well, that's at this aqua diagonal trend line. Right here is 36,760. We go below this aqua diagonal trend line, be careful, because then we could be heading towards this orange diagonal trend line eventually in the lower 30Ks, like 31, 32K. Maybe, no, I'm going to say somewhere between 30 and 32. We don't know that just yet. Let's take it one step at a time. We don't know what we don't know until we know it. Let's see if we come down to the aqua diagonal trend line first, somewhere between 36 and 37,000. Let's see if we come down there first. Once we get there, then let's have a look at the indicators again in the short-term group to see if we continue, if we have higher odds to continue going down below that. That may take a while, because if we look at this blue LSMA in the 6-hour time frame, how tight or wide are the B bands in the 6-hour time frame? 6.6% spread between the two. and we got about another 6% from the white lower to the orange lower. So that's about a 6% move from our current price down to the aquadiagonal trend line. About a 6% move. The B bands aren't real tight, the next 6-hour candle that begins in approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes, that green RSI, the next 6-hour candle might head down there. It's possible that green may turn right back up, allowing time for the blue LSMA to get closer. And so the green RSI might come up the next 6-hour candle. Be careful. And then the next candle after that, it then goes down. The next candle after that, still, in other words, something kind of like this again, where it goes up the next candle and then goes down, but allowing time for the blue LSMA to get closer to level 50, because that red RSI might bounce off level 40. So I'm going to say going down to the aquadiagonal trend line, medium risk. Kind of close to in between medium and high, but medium, I'm going to say medium risk, closer to medium. When I say medium risk, if you were to execute that trade. But just keep in mind that 90-minute, it's going to take a little time. You might want to wait. No. If it was me, this is my opinion now. I am not responsible for any trades made based off my opinion. This is simply my opinion. Six 6.6. Let's go to the 2.3. So if one was opened 0.7, 2.3% spread, no, that would have to be at the basis. When I say that, I'm talking about your stop loss. Your stop loss would have to be right at 39,000. No, actually, because that's a 2.3% spread, be just in between the basis and the white upper, so that's about 39,500. I would, if it was me, I would set my stop loss for around 39,528, just a little bit over 39,525. I'm just saying if it was me. That blue LSMA is pretty low. Okay. Yeah, this may take a little time to get down to that aquadiagonal trend line again, mainly because of where the blue LSMA is currently in the 6 hour. It may be holding it back from really going down there if we went down there this candle, we're to the aquadiagonal trend line, we're overextended down, expect it to pop right back up at least to around the white lower. Why, if we went down to that aquadiagonal trend line, if we went down to this aquadiagonal trend line, this candle, if it all of a sudden just went bam down to the aquadiagonal trend line, this candle, why would I expect it to come right back up and close around the white lower B band? Because the red RSI is just above level 30. It's just above the white lower. So if we went down there, this candle, I'd expect, if we went down to the aquadiagonal trend line, this candle, I expect it to come back up and close right at around the white lower B band, which is currently at 38,099, 38,100. If we went down there, this candle, we would be overextended down. The blue LSMA is still just too high for it to just take off and continue going down. So if we came down to the aquadiagonal trend line, come back up and close around the white lower B band, and then it may bounce here for a bit before we decide if we then come back up to the red diagonal trend line, or do we fall down to the orange diagonal trend line. We don't know that until we know it. We don't know what we don't know until we know it. First, let's see if we can come down to the aquadiagonal trend line first. Looks like the odds are pretty much higher for that to occur, but again, it's going to take a little time for that to occur based on how high the blue LSMA is currently in the 6 hour. But yeah, the white aqua lower B band was pretty much a given. The green RSI is trying to overextend down to the level 30, the white lower, so 38,100 looked almost pretty much in the bag, and we knew that was a 3.15% move from the basis to the white lower. How do we know that when looking at the 6 hour? Because badass B band shows you 6.6% between the white upper and white lower. Halfway in between is 3.3. Halfway between half of 3.3 would be approximately 1.5 for 3, and so we'll say about 1.7, excuse me, 3.3, yeah, 3.3% move. 3.3% move. You would use a little bit lower time frames like I did a minute ago for the 2 hour time frame as far as about where to have my stop loss when executing that trade. Bottom line, it should be like this. Whenever you execute a trade, of course I get into more details on the website, but as far as what do I need to see within the indicators that tells me I need to execute this short or I need to execute this long. I get into that, but I want it to be where, okay, I see this, we have this percent spread, and I'm looking at my B bands to see about where my 2% is for my stop loss, above for a short or below for a long. Look at that real quick. So I see this in the indicators where we could go down to the white aqua lower in the 6 hour, for example. And I know that's a 3.3% move. Yes, that's a decent reward for the risk that I'm taking here. Especially if you're doing it leverage, let's say at 4x, on a 3.3% move with about, I'm going to say about 75-80% of your capital. When I say about 75-80% of your capital, if your capital's 5,000, 90% of 5,000 is 4,500. Now let's divide 4,500 by 4. That would be 1,125. Now with $1,125, a little less than 1/4 of your capital, open a position at 4x. With 4x of 1,125 would be $4,500. That's just shy. You only have 1,125 of your own skin, your own money in the game, but at 4x leverage, meaning you borrowed some money to make your position larger, at 4,500, not quite 5,000, and you set your stop loss at 2%. The reason why not quite 5,000, 4,500, in case your stop does get triggered. 2% of 4,500 is 90. 2% of 5,000 is 100. I'm giving a little bit of wiggle room so that if your stop is triggered, maybe it still won't be much more than 2%. Maybe still just 2% of 4,500 instead of 2% of 5,000. But there's several reasons why I'm doing that. Also, that allows you, if you're doing it that way, that allows you to have 4 trades where the position is about 90% of your capital. But you only invested 1/4 of that 90% to get 90% of your capital when you did it at 4x. But you're limiting yourself to 4 trades. Don't overtrade. I try not to have more than 4 trades open at any given time, no more than that. But that's me. So as a recap, we are seeing the white lower potentially at 38,100 for the immediate short term. What does our immediate group look like? Well, we see in the 15-minute, the red RSI and blue LSMA are still below level 50. The B-bands are trying to expand down, the price action go down with that expansion because the red RSI and blue SMA are below level 50. So the price action is going to remain below the basis for a decent amount of time. In the 15-minute, we already had downward pressure triggered in the 30-minute. That lasts for how long? Until the white energy comes back up to level 50. When the white energy comes back up to level 50, will it do so close above level 50 before the red RSI in the 1 hour can close below level 50? White energy going above level 50, upward pressure. Red RSI in the 1 hour going below level 50 is downward pressure. We're going to see if downward pressure continues and we start to slowly get some expansion down here, at least to around 38,000, but it could continue lower. It just may take a little bit longer for this red RSI to go below level 50 in the 90-minute. Now, see, it may not go below that yet. Right now, with how tight these B-bands, this just may be a setup for or to encourage people to open shorts, only to shortly thereafter, the next 90-minute candle, the green RSI may come right back up while the red RSI still is coming down a little bit, just to kind of squeeze shorts for a minute and come right back up again. And then when the green RSI comes up, they squeeze the shorts a little bit, get them to close their position, then here, and they try to encourage longs to come in, then here they come back again, the green RSI comes back down. But all the while, the red RSI is getting a little bit closer to level 50, where then shortly thereafter, now we finally go down. Sometimes it goes down like that. So you got to be careful of that, which is another reason to have your stop loss a little higher. Really, the time to have gotten in was up here. Up here, if you were going to do it. That's why I said this was about a medium risk trade. I prefer low or low to medium. Yes, I do open medium, but then there's also medium to high, and then there's high risk. I kind of measure the risk and also look at the potential reward that we may have in the trade. When I say the potential reward, just like when the red RSI was about to cross below the blue LSMA here, that tends to be bearish. And we are going to fall, lose support at this white aqua upper. This red RSI is about to go below the white aqua upper in the Phoenix ascending, which is level 80, and it crossed through the blue LSMA. That tends to be bearish. And your spread here was probably around 7%. You would have known that was a 3.5% move. And if you're doing it like 4x leverage, you know, that's a pretty decent profit there. That's a pretty decent profit. There's other things that tell you whenever it does come down towards the basis, because that would be your target there initially. The green RSI is already down here at level 50, right at level, well, actually below level 50. It's about level 40 at that particular time when that candle opened. When it opened and you saw that, you would already know that you would have, that's about 7% spread there. You would already know about a 3.5% move, and then you would determine the next candle if you are to continue keeping that open. You may decide after it moved what it did, you may have taken profit of 30%, 50%, while letting the remainder ride and see if it can go, because if the blue LSMA comes down lower, I know my target will be the white aqua lower B bands. And that would have been about a 6-hour trade there. 6 hours that it would have took in that trade. Going the whole full from the white upper to the white lower, you're looking at that time was about 6.5 to 7% move there, which again at 4x leverage is pretty decent. Of course, I always encourage everyone, try not to hit a home run every time. Try base hits, and most of the time you will have base hits and doubles. What's a base hit like for a short? That would be from the white aqua upper down to the basis. Base hit. You're not getting, someone said earlier, and this was in a movie with Brad Pitt, I'm not paying you, well, he says, I'm paying you to get on base. I'm not paying you to get thrown out at second. In other words, sometimes, especially if you try to short during an uptrend, you may think we're coming down to the white aqua lower, but we're not, because you're shorting during an uptrend that's established in the 12-hour and 24-hour. In that case, just try to get a base hit, just to the basis. That's it. But if you are open or short with an established downtrend in the near-term group, 12-hour and 24-hour, when I'm using this 3-hour and 4-hour, if I open a short and I see obvious downward pressure in the 12-hour and 24-hour, in that case, I would be shorting with the pressure trend at that time. And if once I open it here, I see, yes, pretty good odds to come down to the basis, within proximity of the basis. And as we get down there, then we begin another candle. Now the red RSI has come down even lower at level 40, and the blue LSMA just went below level 80. But at level 40 there, the green RSI is already heading down here towards the white aqua lower. I know the odds are getting pretty high to come down towards that area. So then I held on the next candle and got me a double. The base hit is down to the basis, a double is down towards within proximity of the white aqua lower. But there are times you're going to go and close it with just a base hit at the basis. Don't get greedy. There's going to be a lot of base hits and a lot of doubles. Occasionally you will have triples. Occasionally you will have home runs, especially if you happen to open a scalp at the same time. Let's say you open a scalp in the short-term group, but at the same time it just so happens you're about to have a major swing in the near-term group. That's where your home runs usually come from, because you opened a scalp. You opened a scalp right at the time when we are about to get a major swing. You open a scalp in the short-term group at the same time that we're about to get a major swing in this near-term group. Are we about to get a major swing up anytime soon in the weekly? I don't think so, because this blue LSMA is too low. We're not ready to go, just like how the red RSI and blue LSMA. See, if the blue LSMA got above level 30, I can go up from the basis to the white aqua upper. See, the red RSI made it above level 30. I know I can go up from the white lower B band. Level 30 is white lower. I know I can go up from the white lower B band to the basis, base hit. But I also know if that blue LSMA gets above level 20, there's decent odds we can get on up here towards the white aqua upper, especially if the next candle after that, now the blue LSMA is about to go above level 30 as well. So that increases the odds to go to the white aqua upper. Not only that, our red RSI closed above level 50, triggering upward pressure that lasts for how long? Until the white energy comes back down to level 50. So I feel pretty good about it making it up to the white aqua upper, where this basis, meaning base hit, we ended up actually getting a double. Let's say we stole second. We made it to first, and then we stole second before coming back down to the basis again, because the blue LSMA is right at the basis. When the green RSI came down here to the blue LSMA, it's decent odds of holding support there at the basis, also based on what you're seeing in other time frames. And I get into that in the lesson, especially when looking for your floor support and when looking for the ceiling resistance in your near-term group before opening the scalp in your short-term group. All right, but yeah, it's a good idea to always, when planning a trade, number one, you need to be familiar with the indicators. All right, but you want to know exactly what you want to do before you even execute. I said this in the previous stream. You want to know exactly what you want to do. First thing you want to do is, in the near-term group, 12-hour and 24-hour, do we have upward pressure or downward pressure? Because if we have upward pressure, I'm not looking to short in the short-term group. I'm looking to long. Is there a trade? Do I see a trade here in the short-term group worth opening a long position? Because I see we're about to get on the verge of getting upward pressure in the 12-hour and 24-hour, or we're already starting to see upward pressure in the 12-hour and 24-hour, potentially going up from the white lower B band to the basis, base hit in the 12-hour. So let me see about opening long in that short-term group. May have used the 90-minute, 2-hour, 3-hour, and 4-hour time frames to help you do that. Determine where to set your stop loss, no more than 2%. Keep your losses small and gains large. A lot of times when people stop gets triggered, it's because they entered the trade too soon. Too soon. All right, so keep that in mind. If your stop does get triggered, it's probably because if you know the indicators very well, but you just messed up and opened the trade too soon. Your stop loss got triggered. There's other times where your analysis was just wrong, or wasn't necessarily wrong, you were doing what the indicators told you to do, but on rare occasions the price action doesn't move organically. It's just all of a sudden, boom, right up against it, or boom, right up against it. That happens sometimes, but majority of the time it moves kind of slowly, organically. It's not just all of a sudden, boom, the opposite of what you're seeing. That doesn't happen very often. But you plan your trade looking at your near-term group. Do I have upward pressure or downward pressure? Upward pressure, I'm looking to long in the short-term group. If I see downward pressure in the near-term group, I'm looking to short in the short-term group. Paying attention to my B-band spreads, like at the white aqua upper spread. The white aqua upper spread, like looking at this 4-hour time frame, isn't it 2% between the white aqua upper? Or down here at the bottom, if you were open along. I'm not saying to do any of that right now, but I'm just pointing out these percentage spreads are here for a reason, so that you can look like if you were going to open along, don't do it. If you're going to open along right here, if the indicators were showing where we are about to go up, they're not. But if they were, and expecting to go up from this white lower B band at least towards the basis, or the indicators indicating that you can go up to the white aqua upper, well, you would set your stop loss right at that aqua lower that's currently at 37,812. Again, I'm not saying open along right here. Y'all know I'm not saying that. I just provided that as an example. But what is our pressure in the near-term group? Upward or downward? Because I want to make sure when I open or execute a trade in the short-term group that it is in harmony with the near-term group, colligated in harmony with the near-term group. I know where I'm going to set my stop loss. I also know, based on the levels of my red RSI, blue LSMA, are the odds of us going up to the basis for that long or to the white aqua upper for that long. Sometimes you don't know immediately when you open up that trade, that long. Right now you just know the basis. All right, let's see where we are the next candle to see if I keep that trade open to go up to the white aqua upper B bands. And let's say the next candle comes and you don't quite see that. When I say you don't quite see that, you're just not quite convinced of that. So to be on the safe side, take 33% profit while letting the rest ride. Or maybe 50% profit while letting the rest ride, to see if, because it may be the next candle just stays sideways there at the basis, just wicking a little bit below it, wicking a little bit above it, and then the next candle after that, it ends up going up to the white aqua upper B band. Sometimes it's like that. You don't know immediately. You have to open the trade this candle and you get more information the next candle. So again, we don't know what we don't know until we know it. And I gave an example of what you're doing, where once you know it, you see the next candle, then you decide what to do once you see that next candle. Do I go and take 100% profit? Do I take partial profit while letting the rest ride? Things of that sort. You should plan your trade well, but the only way to do that is to understand your indicators well. But you plan your trade well, you know where you're going to open the trade, you know where your stop loss is, and you already have plan of where to take profit or partial profit while letting the rest ride. But you plan your trade well so that you can execute it well, and to also have consistency, making sure to obey those rules strictly, especially with that stop loss. Set your stop loss. Keep your gains small. while giving yourself an opportunity to keep your losses small, while keeping open the opportunity for your gains to be large. But again, as I mentioned before, sometimes people have no problem knowing where to open a trade. Their problem is, when do I close the trade? But in order to understand that, you need to understand your indicators well. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and do a recap here real quick. Again, I was saying the white lower B band in the 6-hour time frame. White lower B band at 38,090 now. I was saying about 38,100. But, you know, we could come on down to the white aqua lower with that green RSI. It's possible to come down in between the white lower at 30,090 and the aqua lower at 37,250, somewhere in between that, based on the green RSI, potentially the next 6-hour candle. We have 1 hour, 22 minutes remaining in this candle. All right, so around 37,775 is about halfway in between the white lower and aqua lower B bands. All right, because it may be that it comes down to the white aqua lower and then bounces back up towards the basis before then coming back down again lower. Why am I saying that? Because this blue LSMA is still quite high. It's still quite high in this 6-hour time frame. It needs to come on down here at level 50 or just below level 50 to continue going down even further, potentially to the aqua diagonal trend line here around 36,150 or lower. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and call this one quits, y'all. I'm going to take a break, give me some coffee here for a minute, and then I'll come back and provide another video for Cardano for ADA USD Tether. And I appreciate very much y'all joining me here with the live stream. I appreciate your support. And as always, you know the drill. Let's stay awesome.